The coronavirus exploded in China because the centralized communist fear factory was more worried about saving face than saving lives, and precious time and patience were lost with whistleblower silencing and a disinformation campaign. So, before an entire province was locked down, the bug crept out into other countries and onto ships where unwitting petri dishes sneezed the virus onto every continent except Antarctica. Good job, commies. Well, not to be outdone, the American bureaucracy similarly screwed the pooch, there it is, with its own brand of centralized incompetence. And instead of triggering an all-hands-on-deck response to the outbreak, labs were forbidden from doing their own testing, which could have diagnosed, quarantined, and treated patients before their naive snot rockets bombarded vulnerable future patients. There are hundreds of public health labs that could have been testing all along, this whole time, like the Northern California patient who was denied testing because of the FDA's emergency use approval. And here's an idea. When there's an emergency, how about expand testing instead of contracting it? This clumsy, slow, heartless, bungled response may be responsible for more suffering and death because the FDA and CDC are too big, dumb, and slow to do what private individuals and companies are much better at: identifying and fixing problems. Enter the free market. Yes, the U.S. pharmaceutical industry is vilified for being successful, but 57% of the world's new and effective drugs sprang from the bosom of our free market between 2001 to 2010. And our fund bags keep giving, as several non-government entities from Novavax to Johnson & Johnson and Moderna, just to name a few, they are racing against the clock and each other. That's the competition part. That's beautiful, to come up with vaccines and treatments to put the corona horse back in the barn. Moderna and Novavax stocks are up 60 and 47% respectively in the last week. And if they crack the code and come up with solutions, they deserve the wheelbarrows of cash coming their way. New drugs cost money, and innovation can only thrive in a free market. If these drug manufacturers are able to circumvent the bureaucratic cargo net that normally slows progress to fast-track vaccines, then more power to them and more health and longevity to us. And that's the memo.